What if I told you that the version of yourself 6 months from now is watching you right now, hoping you'll make the right choice today? I know that sounds wild, but stick with me here, because what I'm about to share with you completely changed how I approach every single day. And by the end of this video, you're going to meet a version of yourself that you didn't even know existed. Here's the thing. Most of us are living on autopilot. We wake up, go through the motions, tell ourselves we'll start that thing tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes and nothing changes. You've got dreams, right? Maybe it's getting in shape, building that business, learning that skill, fixing that relationship, or just feeling like you're actually moving forward instead of spinning your wheels. But here's what happens. You set the goal, you get excited for like 2 days, and then reality hits. The motivation fades, the couch looks comfortable, Netflix has a new series, your friends want to hang out, and suddenly 6 months pass and you're in the exact same spot, wondering where the time went. I've been there, man. I spent years doing this. I'd set these big goals on January 1st, feel pumped for a week, and by February I was back to my old habits, making excuses, telling myself I'd start again on Monday. And the worst part? Deep down I knew I was letting myself down. That quiet voice in your head that says you're capable of more? Yeah, I was ignoring that voice every single day. And it hurt. Not the kind of pain that makes you scream, but the slow, dull ache of knowing you're not becoming who you could be. So let me take you back to a specific moment that changed everything for me. It was a random Tuesday night, nothing special about it. I was sitting on my couch, scrolling through social media like I did every night, and I saw a photo of someone I went to high school with. This guy wasn't smarter than me, didn't have more advantages than me, wasn't more talented. But there he was, living the exact life I said I wanted. He'd gotten in shape, started his own thing, was traveling, looked genuinely happy. And I remember just staring at that photo, feeling this weird mix of jealousy and anger and disappointment, all directed at myself. That night, I couldn't sleep. I just kept thinking about where I was versus where I wanted to be. And I realized something that hit me like a truck. I wasn't failing because I didn't know what to do. I was failing because I couldn't connect my actions today with my dreams tomorrow. They felt like two completely different worlds. Eating healthy today didn't feel connected to being fit in 6 months. Sending one cold email didn't feel connected to building a business. Reading 10 pages didn't feel connected to gaining knowledge. So I'd skip it because what's one day, right? But here's what I figured out. I needed to make my future real. Not just some vague idea of someday I'll be successful, but actual, vivid, real. So I tried something that felt kind of crazy at the time, but I was desperate. I sat down with my journal, closed my eyes, and I forced myself to imagine in extreme detail what my life would look like 6 months from that moment if I actually did the work. Not the highlight reel, but the actual day-to-day life of the person I wanted to become. And I'm talking details, man. What time does that version of me wake up? What does he eat for breakfast? How does he feel when he looks in the mirror? What does his workspace look like? How does he spend his evenings? Who does he spend time with? What problems does he have? Because future you isn't perfect, he just has different, better problems. I spent like an hour on this, and when I opened my eyes, something had shifted. That future version of me felt real. He felt like someone I knew, someone I could actually become. But here's where it gets really interesting. After I did this visualization, I asked myself one simple question that became my entire philosophy. I asked, what would that version of me 6 months from now want me to do today? And the answer was so clear it almost made me laugh. He'd want me to get off the couch. He'd want me to close social media. He'd want me to take one real action toward the goal, no matter how small. Because that future version of me exists only if I build him, one day at a time, starting right now. So I did something I hadn't done in months. I got up, put on my workout clothes, and did 20 minutes of exercise. That's it. Nothing crazy. No 2-hour gym session. No extreme diet. Just 20 minutes. But it was different this time, because I wasn't doing it for some vague future. I was doing it for him. For the version of me 6 months away who needed me to start today. And you know what? It felt good. Not because the workout was amazing, but because I felt like I was finally being the person I said I wanted to be. The next morning, I did the same visualization before I got out of bed. 5 minutes, that's all it took. I'd close my eyes and check in with future me. What does he need me to do today? And every single time the answer was simple and clear. Send that email. Make that call. Do that workout. Write those pages. Read that chapter. Small stuff. Doable stuff. But it added up. A week became 2 weeks. 2 weeks became a month. And something incredible started happening. I started noticing changes. Small ones at first. I had more energy. I felt more confident. I was actually making progress on things I'd been putting off for years. Now let me break down exactly how you can use this in your own life, because this isn't just some feel-good story. This is a framework that actually works, and I want you to have it. The whole system comes down to 3 parts, and I promise you, if you do this consistently, your life will look completely different 6 months from now. First, you've got to build the vision. And I don't mean just thinking about your goals. I mean actually creating a detailed, vivid picture of your life 6 months from today. Here's how you do it. Find a quiet spot, set a timer for 10 to 15 minutes, close your eyes, and start building the movie in your mind. Imagine it's 6 months from today, and you've been consistent with your goal. You wake up in the morning. What's the first thing you notice? How does your body feel? What's your energy level like? You look in the mirror. What do you see? Do you look different? Do you carry yourself differently? You go through your morning routine. What are you doing? Are you meal prepping because you're serious about nutrition? Are you reviewing your business metrics because you're building something real? Are you practicing that skill you wanted to learn? Walk through an entire day as that person. Go to work or your business. How do you show up? How do people respond to you? What conversations are you having? What problems are you solving? Come home in the evening. What do you do with your time? Are you still scrolling mindlessly? Or are you creating, building, learning, connecting? Go to bed. How do you feel about the day you just lived? This is important. The more detailed you make this, the more real it becomes. You're not just imagining success, you're imagining the actual lifestyle of the person who achieves that success. Second, you've got to make the connection. This is where most people fail with visualization. They create this beautiful picture of the future, feel good about it for 5 minutes, and then do nothing different. The magic happens when you connect today's actions to that future. So after you've done your visualization, while it's still fresh and vivid in your mind, you ask yourself this exact question. What would that version of me want me to do today? Not what can I do, not what should I do, but what would he want me to do? What action would he thank me for 6 months from now? And here's the key. It's usually something small, something doable, something you can knock out today. If your vision is being in great shape, future you doesn't need you to run a marathon today. He needs you to do 30 minutes of movement. If your vision is building a business, future you doesn't need you to launch the whole thing today. He needs you to send 5 outreach emails or create 1 piece of content. If your vision is learning a skill, future you doesn't need you to master it today. He needs you to practice for 20 minutes. The action has to be small enough that you'll actually do it, but meaningful enough that it moves you forward. Write it down. Commit to it. And then, this is crucial, you do it, no matter what. Because every time you follow through, you're proving to yourself that you're becoming that person. Third, you've got to repeat and refine. This isn't a one-time thing. This is your new operating system. Every single morning, before you check your phone, before you do anything else, you spend 5 minutes reconnecting with that future version of yourself. Close your eyes, visualize that life, Feel it. Make it real. Then ask the question, what does he need from me today? Some days the answer will be the same. Keep doing the workout. Keep writing. Keep building. Other days the answer will evolve. Maybe you need to level up your effort. Maybe you need to course correct because something isn't working. Maybe you need to rest because you're burning out. Future you knows what you need because he's already lived it. And here's something really cool that happens. As you get closer to that 6-month mark, your vision will start to change because you're becoming that person, and now you can see even further ahead. 6 months becomes a year becomes 3 years. You're not just visualizing anymore, you're planning, you're building, you're living intentionally instead of accidentally. Your entire relationship with time changes. Days don't just disappear anymore. Every single one has purpose because you know exactly what you're building toward. Now I want to go deeper on something because I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, this sounds great, but what if I don't believe I can actually become that person? What if the gap between where I am and where I want to be feels too big? Man, I get it. I've been there. When I first started this, there were days I'd do the visualization and it felt fake, like I was lying to myself, like that successful, disciplined, accomplished version of me was just too far away from the guy sitting on the couch in sweatpants eating chips. But here's what I learned. Belief doesn't come first. Action comes first, and belief follows. You don't need to believe you're that person yet. You just need to act like him for one day. Just one. Because here's the truth about becoming someone new. It doesn't happen in some magical moment where everything clicks and suddenly you're transformed. It happens in 1,000 tiny moments where you choose the harder right over the easier wrong. It happens when you're tired but you do the workout anyway. When you're scared but you send the email anyway. When you'd rather scroll but you read the book anyway. But here's what I learned. Belief doesn't come first. Action comes first, and belief follows. You don't need to believe you're that person yet. You just need to act like him for one day. Just one. Because here's the truth about becoming someone new. It doesn't happen in some magical moment where everything clicks and suddenly you're transformed. It happens in 1,000 tiny moments where you choose the harder right over the easier wrong. It happens when you're tired but you do the workout anyway. When you're scared but you send the email anyway. When you'd rather scroll but you read the book anyway. Every single time you make that choice, you're casting a vote for the person you're becoming. And at first, the votes are close. Part of you wants to stay the same, and part of you wants to change. But as you keep voting, keep choosing, keep showing up, the gap widens. The person you're becoming starts winning by bigger margins. And then one day, you realize you're not fighting yourself anymore. You're just being who you are. The discipline isn't hard anymore. It's just what you do. The habits aren't a struggle. They're just your lifestyle. I remember about 3 months into my journey, I was getting ready for bed and I realized I hadn't even thought about skipping my workout that day. It wasn't a battle anymore. I just did it, like brushing my teeth. That's when I knew something fundamental had shifted. I wasn't trying to be disciplined. I was just being me. And me was someone who worked out. That's the magic of this approach. You're not white-knuckling your way through willpower every day. You're literally becoming a different person, and that person does these things naturally. Another thing I need to address. What about the days you fail? Because you will. You're going to have days where you do the visualization. You know what you need to do, and you just don't do it. You sleep in. You skip the work. You fall back into old patterns. Does that mean it's over? Does that mean you're not going to become that person? Absolutely not. Here's what future you would tell you about those days. He'd say, I'm still here. I'm still waiting for you. One bad day didn't erase all your good days. Just start again tomorrow. The difference between people who transform their lives and people who stay stuck isn't that successful people never fail. It's that they don't let one failure become a pattern. They don't let one missed workout become a missed week. They don't let one unproductive day become an unproductive month. They mess up, they acknowledge it without drama, and they get back on track. Because they're connected to that future version of themselves, and they know he's worth the effort. Let me give you some real specific examples of how this works in different areas because I want you to see how flexible and powerful this framework is. Let's say your goal is fitness. You're out of shape right now. Maybe you've tried and failed a bunch of times, and you want to be the kind of person who's actually fit and healthy. You do your visualization. You imagine yourself 6 months from now. You're 25 pounds lighter. You've got energy all day. You're sleeping better. Your clothes fit differently. People are commenting on how good you look. You feel strong. You feel capable. You wake up in the morning and actually look forward to your workout because it makes you feel alive. Now you ask, what does that person need from me today? He needs you to respect your body. That means today you drink water instead of soda with lunch. You take a 20-minute walk instead of going straight to the couch after work. You eat a real meal instead of fast food. You go to bed at a decent hour instead of staying up scrolling. Notice none of those things are extreme. You're not training for a triathlon on day one. You're just making the choices that person would make. And when you make those choices, you strengthen the connection. You prove to yourself that you're becoming him. Now you ask, what does that person need from me today? He needs you to respect your body. That means today you drink water instead of soda with lunch. You take a 20-minute walk instead of going straight to the couch after work. You eat a real meal instead of fast food. You go to bed at a decent hour instead of staying up scrolling. Notice none of those things are extreme. You're not training for a triathlon on day one. You're just making the choices that person would make. And when you make those choices, you strengthen the connection. You prove to yourself that you're becoming him. Or let's say your goal is building a business. Right now you're working a 9 to 5 you don't love, and you've got this idea that you think could really be something, but you haven't made real progress on it. You visualize 6 months from now. You've got your first 10 paying customers. You're making an extra $2,000 a month. You've built systems that work. You're confident when you talk about your business because you're actually doing it, not just dreaming about it. You've got testimonials. You've got momentum. You wake up excited to work on it. What does that person need from you today? He needs you to treat this like a real business, not a hobby. So today, you spend 1 hour, just 1 hour, before or after work, doing something that moves the business forward. Maybe you create a piece of content. Maybe you reach out to 5 potential customers. Maybe you improve your offer. Maybe you learn a skill you need. It's not about doing everything. It's about doing something real, something that matters. And you do it consistently, because that's what business owners do. They show up even when they don't feel like it. Or maybe your goal is learning a skill. You want to learn to code, speak a language, play an instrument, whatever it is. 6 months from now, you can have real conversations in Spanish. You can build a basic website from scratch. You can play 3 songs on guitar that actually sound good. You visualize yourself doing these things. You feel the satisfaction of actually being capable. You imagine showing someone what you can do and them being genuinely impressed. You think about how different you feel when you've stuck with something and actually gotten good at it. What does that person need from today's you? 20 minutes of focused practice. That's it. Not 3 hours where you burn out and quit after a week. 20 minutes where you're fully present, actually trying, actually learning. You do it every single day, no exceptions, because you're not the kind of person who quits on yourself anymore. You're becoming someone who finishes what they start. And in 6 months, you'll have put in over 60 hours of practice. You can get legitimately good at something with 60 focused hours. Here's something really important I need you to understand. This whole framework is really about changing your relationship with time. Most people think about time wrong. They think the past defines them, that who they were is who they are, and that's who they'll always be. But that's not true. The past is just information. It's data about what you've done, not a prison that determines what you can do. The person you're becoming, that future version of you 6 months from now, he has way more power over your life than your past does, because he's the direction you're heading. He's what you're building toward. He's who you choose to be. When you connect with that version of yourself every single day, you start making decisions differently. It's not about motivation anymore. Motivation is this fleeting feeling that comes and goes. You feel pumped after watching a video. Then 2 days later, you're back to old habits. This is different. This is identity. You're not trying to do things, you're being someone. And who you are determines what you do way more than motivation ever could. When you connect with that version of yourself every single day, you start making decisions differently. It's not about motivation anymore. Motivation is this fleeting feeling that comes and goes. You feel pumped after watching a video. Then 2 days later, you're back to old habits. This is different. This is identity. You're not trying to do things, you're being someone. And who you are determines what you do way more than motivation ever could. Think about it like this. You probably brush your teeth every day, right? You don't need motivation to brush your teeth. You don't watch YouTube videos to get pumped up about dental hygiene. You just do it because that's what people who care about their health do. It's part of your identity. That's what happens with everything else when you use this framework. Working out isn't something you need motivation for. It's just what you do because you're the kind of person who takes care of their body. Building your business isn't something you need to force yourself to do. It's what you do because you're an entrepreneur. Learning isn't a chore, it's who you are. And the beautiful thing is, the more you act like that person, the more you actually become that person. Your brain is constantly looking for evidence of who you are, and it creates your sense of identity based on your actions. So when you consistently make the choices that future you would make, your brain starts going, oh, I guess this is who we are now. We're disciplined. We're consistent. We're someone who does what we say we're going to do. And once that identity shifts, everything gets easier. You're not fighting against yourself anymore. You're working with yourself. All right, so here's what I want you to do. And I want you to do this today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. As soon as this video ends, I want you to find a quiet spot. It can be your bedroom, your car, a park, wherever. Set a timer for 15 minutes. Close your eyes and build that vision of your life 6 months from today. Make it so real you can feel it. See the details. Feel the emotions. Live in that moment. And when the timer goes off, grab a piece of paper or open your notes app and write down one thing. What does that version of you need from you today? What's the one action you can take in the next 24 hours that moves you toward that person? And then do it. No matter what. Even if it's small. Even if it feels insignificant. Do it. Because that's where everything starts. That's the first vote you cast for who you're becoming. And tomorrow morning, before you do anything else, spend 5 minutes reconnecting with that future you. Make it a ritual. Make it non-negotiable. Ask the question. Take the action. And watch what happens over the next 6 months. I promise you, if you actually do this consistently, your life will be unrecognizable. 6 months might sound like a long time right now, but it's going to pass anyway. The question is, who are you going to be when it does? Are you going to be the same person, 6 months older, wondering where the time went? Or are you going to be that person you visualized, living the life you built, one day at a time? The choice is yours. Future you is watching. Future you is hoping. Future you is waiting. Don't let him down. Now I want to hear from you. After you do this visualization exercise, drop a comment and tell me one thing. What's the one action future you needs from you today? I'm going to read every single comment, and I want to see what you're committing to. And if you found this helpful, if this clicked for you, hit that subscribe button, because I make videos like this every single week to help you become the person you know you're capable of being. Remember, you're not stuck. You're not behind. You're not too late. You're exactly where you need to be to start becoming who you're meant to be. The only question is, are you ready to start? I think you are. I think that's why you watched all the way to the end. So go. Do the visualization. Take the action. And I'll see you in the next video where we're going to talk about what to do when you feel like quitting. Because that moment will come, and I want you to be ready for it. Until then, keep building. Keep becoming. I believe in you.